Hello and welcome to City News International, where we bring global stories close to home. I'm Bernie de Boosman.
And I'm Rosette Rubik. Today's program is dedicated to arts and culture, where we will touch on fashion, art and music.
To begin though, we have our correspondent Setsa Bailey CBC with the business news.
Producers of Star Wars have started shooting episode 7 of the film at Pinewood Studios in the UK. Chancellor George Osborne says this is part of the film tax relief by government in this year's budget. The film tax relief gives 25% of the first £20 million of qualifying expenditure. The final film is expected in cinemas next year in December. Sotheby's Auction House sold on Tuesday a more than post-war British painting at £2.3 million. This painting by Alice Lowry depicts a station approach of Manchester in the 1960s, as seen outside the London and North Western Railway Exchange Station. The station has since been demolished, and where it once stood is now a car park. Ford, General Motors and Chrysler will donate a combined £16 million to save the Detroit Institute of Arts in New York. This is in an effort by the three top automotive makers to save the institute from the auction block. This is part of a larger campaign by the state to raise £477 million for the institute after it emerged last year that it was bankrupt. Despite poor reviews from critics, the film Grace of Monaco featuring Nicole Kidman kicked off this past weekend in the UK and Ireland, and it amassed sales of over £238,000, which is positive. That was all from the business news. Back to you.
Thank you, Setsubil. Bernie, is it hot in here or is it just me?
Let's stick to business, Rose. The competition between fashion graduates seems to be getting as hot as the weather. Graduate Fashion Week represents the future of creative design talent. Work from the most influential and inspiring UK and international universities is displayed in London. Our reporter Catherine Liu has the story.
It is fabulous to watch models moving along the catwalk, working, turning to display the new clothes. However, fashion industry is a competitive area. To close the gap between graduation and employment, graduates need more chances to promote themselves.
The reason we're doing this event is so that graduates can show the world their wonderful designs. They're looking for jobs, they're looking to start up their business, they're showing people amazing collections, amazing portfolios.
This is just something that I wanted to produce and sell on. I think this is, again, if I can't get a job when I graduate, then I would definitely look at doing freelance work with something like this.
Working for fashion companies or running your own business, graduates have clear ideas.
Working for someone else would be really helpful for us at the moment as well, because we're just graduating. We don't know everything, so getting that little bit more knowledge from someone else would be really beneficial.
I would mostly head towards my own business because business already runs in my family as well. So it'd be easier for me to start my own business than to work for someone else.
5% that start up their own business, but they only do that after having certainly minimum 5 years experience working with companies, because then they've made the contacts, they get the experience. To start up on your own immediately is madness.
Then for the 95% graduates who are looking for jobs, here are some suggestions.
They are creatives, but they are too shy to go out there and ask for money or ask for other people to invest in their business. So the fashion business units help them. It gives them the confidence to actually develop a business plan, develop ideas to launch their brand, to launch their logo.
Important, I think online is very important. Keep your CV online, your portfolio online. You need to be proactive about promoting yourself.
Those suggestions plus good luck probably
The British Fashion Council has launched a scheme to promote menswear. To give us more details on this and other updates in the world of fashion, here's our correspondent Xi Feng.
London takes its men's fashion quite seriously. This year, the British Fashion Council wants to create a platform to showcase the young British talent. The council launched a Menswear Fund Award with the support of the Menswear magazine GQ. The competition is aimed at promoting, mentoring, and selecting the future design leader of the British menswear. Christopher Shannon won the award yesterday with its sportwear and streetwear collection. With the growing interest in young fashion designers, the sustainable fashion platform Honest Buy has launched the Future Fashion Designer Scholarship yesterday. The new scholarship, worth €10,000, aims to boost the activity of young fashion designers to work in a sustainable, human and animal-friendly way. The founder of the Honest Buy thinks young designers are still doing and copying the old generation. They want to encourage students today to adopt a new and progressive fashion behavior by launching the scholarship. The winner will be announced in September. A creative director of Saint Laurent and former creative director of Dior Homme, Eddie Slimane, shows his highly regarded black and white photographs in Paris. Many of the photos are never seen before, shots of rock legends like Keith Richards, Brian Wilson, and Amy Winehouse. A documentary video installation will also be included in the exhibit. The video will compare and contrast the London rock scene from 2003 to 2007. The exhibition will be on display until January 11, 2015. That's all for today. Back to you.
Some people use the streets as a catwalk, wearing sometimes out-of-this-world costumes.
That's right, Bernie. And often they dress up like their favorite comic book characters in an activity called cosplaying. Their season has just started, and our reporter Satsibio CBC visited the first one in London.
Pikachu, Spider-Man, and Captain America. Once a year, fantasy world becomes a reality. From films to video games, you can become any character you want, a superhero or a villain.
I might have tied Odin up and put him in the closet somewhere.
I've not seen any Lokis yet, but when I do...
Don't tell him where I am. Don't tell him.
Batmobile is outside. It's invisible, otherwise it'd be stolen from me. I can't leave that outside. No way.
Comic-Con is a convention of popular culture where cosplaying plays an important role. Cosplay is a practice of dressing up as a character from a film, book, or a video game. This year's Comic-Con kicked off in London and gathered around 100,000 visitors, with cosplayers making a significant majority. The idea is to take a creative approach to looking as much as your character.
It takes 45 minutes for me to do my makeup, and for him, 1 hour maybe, yeah, something like that, and then we need to get dressed.
I hand suited myself, most of it, and yeah.
Yeah, this was really an awful job. It was painting on.
With kicking off in London, Comic-Con season spreads across the UK. And in the upcoming weeks, the convention will be held in Birmingham, Belfast and Glasgow.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
I'm Satabile Spisi, reporting in London.
Ever wondered what dog-created art would look like, or wanted to start a modern art collection but can't afford the prices? Well, your best chance to find out was at the annual Art Car Boot Fair, where dogs and 100 other artists showed off their modern artwork for a bargain price. Claudia Basdwaka reports.
Artists gathered to show off their eclectic collection of art, attracting Londoners and people from across the country. Every year, the London Art Car Boot Fair is a much-awaited event, appealing to art collectors and bargain hunters alike. Organizer of the event, Karen Ashton, told us what is new.
This year, I think we've got a lot more new artists, a lot more younger artists that we've scoured the city for. So we've got Poppy Chancellor and Nina Fowler, and we've got Ben Ein for the first time.
Other artists wanted to create a bond with potential customers before parting away with their artwork.
£20 model paintings to be sold in 6 hours.
It's like a gift to the nation. It's almost like entry-level philanthropy.
We will only sell to people who we deem fit enough to buy one of these paintings at such great value.
One way to display your artwork is by wearing it, if you can.
I'm most known for my performance work, and so I like to make, I don't know, you would call it, I suppose you would call it making a statement, but I don't see that black is the new beige.
In the Canine Creative Corner, we met with 2.5-year-old Nanook, who was overwhelmed by his successful artwork.
You're a great artist. So the idea when we get a dog is that through the medium of food, there is where you can choose different media. So you get charcoal, simple graphite for the minimalist dog, or a rainbow. And by eating and moving the bowl around, they create their artwork.
People were excited to attend the fair but couldn't hide their disappointment over artist Tracy Emin's absence. Known for My Bed and Everyone I Have Ever Slept With art installations, she was a highlight at last year's fair.
Last year was more original.
Tracy Emin was here last year.
Being very honest, a little bit disappointing. It was advertised that Tracy Emin's work is going to be just nothing, just books.
We had come to see Tracy Emin, but unfortunately she hasn't turned up this year.
Even if you didn't buy anything, you could leave the fair with more knowledge about celebrity pets.
This is the Celebrity Pet Quiz. This is the hardest quiz you will ever do in your life. George Clooney had a pot-bellied pig as a pet. How long did it live?
If you're wondering what the answer is, we'll spare you the wait. The answer is his pig, Max, lived for 18 years. This is Claudia Buzduaca reporting from London.
Let's go to the Historic Gallery and to Italy. The museum in North London is hosting a photo exhibition on Italy during the 50s and 60s, an era that now goes by the name of Dolce Vita, sweet life. Now, the third European economy is reeling from the economic crisis, but back then it was the new land of cinema. Rome's Cinecittà studios attracted actors, directors, celebrities, and fashionable socialites from all over the world. Rome became a sort of live movie set, much to the delight of paparazzi, who are actually the authors of almost all the pictures shown at the exhibit.
London has launched a busking competition to keep the city's street performing culture alive. But buskers in the city feel that the current regulations before they can perform, such as the need to have licenses, are too strict. Ryan Chua reports.
With her guitar, Joanna can make music anytime and anywhere. Joanna has been singing since she was 12, but has never had the chance to perform on a street like this. It's a dream she's now trying to fulfill by joining the London City Government's busking competition this year.
I think performing in public makes me feel amazing. Sometimes you get people that walk past and hear you sing and they stop and they listen and they smile, and it kind of makes you happy to feel appreciated. I want to busk on the street in front of people I'd never seen in my life and to kind of get them to stop, tourists in London.
From the glittery glam of London's West End to artists entertaining crowds on the street, London is a music mecca, and buskers are a big part of bringing more life and color to the city, over and underground. Mayor Boris Johnson has openly expressed his support for street performers with projects like the busking competition. Ironically, though, buskers face strict regulations before they can perform. The borough of Camden, for instance, recently imposed a rule requiring buskers to purchase licenses and stop playing after 9 p.m. Roger, who's applying for a license to busk in touristy Covent Garden, says the rules should be made more lenient.
If people are coming in and bringing tourism and things to your local community, then that's a good thing.
Among the busking competition's prizes is a license to perform in tube stations. But Joanna believes there should be no need for performers to have licenses at all.
It's just an extra opportunity, for tourists. I think for tourists it should be a great thing to kind of watch, raw talent, underground talent, and to see that kind of stuff happening in London.
Somebody told you how to unfold your love.
As Joanna waits for the results of the initial round of the competition, she holds on to her dream of one day making London streets her stage. Ryan Chua reporting from London.
From street music, let's go to street art. For many street artists in London, Shoreditch is the place to be. Our reporter Catherine Liu tells us why.
Hello, Kelly Mollyhan. And as a journalist of art and culture, you must be familiar with the place full of arts. So could you introduce one around the City University?
Oh, of course. As a lover of art, I'm definitely always keeping my eyes open. And actually, right near campus is an area called Shoreditch, which I'm sure a lot of local people are aware of, but it's a fantastic area for street art, actually. And what I love about street art is that you could be walking down the street one weekend, you'll see a beautiful mural, but then the next week it'll be gone and something new will be in its place. So it's this constantly changing, if you will, urban gallery, and that it's free. And it really is fantastic, particularly if you love bright colors, interesting pieces. You never know what you're going to see.
Okay, I know this one is one of your favorite painting. So what's the reason you love it so much?
Well, this particular mural here is by an artist called Alexis Diaz, and she is originally from Puerto Rico, but she is now here in London. And she's very recognizable because she does these large animal figures, but they're often composites of two different animals, sometimes other objects as well. So this one here is an elephant and an octopus, as you can see. I like to call it the octafont. I don't know what she calls it, but I call it the octafont. But what I love about her art is it's highly detailed, and it's got the bright colors backgrounds, but the animals are usually black and white. So it's very distinctive, very easy to pick out her pieces. Another artist that I actually am really fond of is called Invader, and he is from France, he's French, and he tiles up little Space Invaders or characters from like those 8-bit video games from when we were kids, so Pac-Man and all of that stuff. And he's all over the world, but little small, sometimes you'll see him, sometimes they're big, but Space Invaders all over the place, and he's a lot of fun to keep an eye out for.
Okay, after people enjoy so many arts and they need a place to have a drink, so do you have any lovely place?
Well, I do actually. Shoreditch is just fantastic because there's so many different bars, restaurants, and street food happening. Particularly on the weekends, there is this area with fantastic street food from around the world that I highly recommend. Basically, just follow your nose down Brick Lane, you will find it. But as far as bars go, there is one called The Verge, and it's at the top of Brick Lane. And it's fantastic atmosphere, very chilled out, great service, great beers. And particularly when it's nice and sunny outside, they open up all the windows so you could get a breeze in, and it's like you're at the beach, but not.
Yeah, sounds very nice. Actually, Shoreditch is an amazing place. Our reporter Julia also went to Shoreditch, and she met the artist Kamel Walala. Guess what she says? Let's see.
So we went in Actis Central to meet Kamel Walala that we met in the streets of London in Shoreditch, painting a wall today. Hi Camille.
Hello.
So can you talk a bit more about your work?
Well, I've been doing my work for like 2 years now, and I'm just like I'm doing a lot of pattern pretty much everywhere I can. So like any opportunity I can put my pattern in the streets, I do it. So I think like Shoreditch, it's been like a good place for me where I've got like a lot of opportunity recently. So that's probably where you saw my work.
Okay.
Today.
So you choose Shoreditch for which reasons?
I think I've been quite lucky. Like I had like opportunity. I met people. I mean, Shoreditch is such a small community. So when you know people, like they offer you opportunity. And I don't know if you saw, but I had a old lady ask me to paint her house. And recently I had a big building. They saw my work before, and they're asking me to do a big painting on their wall. So I'm just like really happy to do like a big scale work, and that's what I've been doing recently.
Okay. So that's because of the circumstances that you painted so many walls in Shoreditch.
Yeah, I think Shoreditch probably got like I don't know, in any city you probably got a lot of places where they're a bit more free spirit and they accept street art. And I think Shoreditch is definitely London. It's definitely a place where you see a lot of street art and people just like accept the street artists to paint on their wall. So I think that's been happening for me. So that's good.
What is maybe the meaning, or I don't know, the message in your work?
Well, I just think like in most of the street, I mean, I don't know, I don't want to be judgmental, but everything I see in the street art, I think maybe it's because a lot of men but I just find like it's quite dark and not really colorful, and I'm just trying to do the opposite of that, which is kind of like playful, and I just really like to just put some positive message, or just like if I can put some words where it doesn't mean much, but it's just like I don't know if you saw the one I did today, it's like dance more, or I do somewhere it's like play more, I don't know, I just think like it's such a nice kind of powerful way to put a message in the street. So that's what I've been doing recently, and just like adding a lot of colors in this grey city. I mean, today was a nice sunny day, but most of the time it's kind of grey, so I think like putting a nice combination of color on walls, that's a good, I don't know, I just feel really lucky I'm able to do that to the city.
Okay, thank you very much. So it was Julia Tiller reporting from Acne Central.
Let's stay in Shoreditch. While startups and creatives are thinking outside the box, they will be working inside of it. A new studio complex made out of shipping containers will be built in East London's Creative Hub. There's been a shortage of affordable studio space in the capital. Artists are slowly being driven out, but now there's a new initiative to transform shipping containers into workspaces for people in the fashion, media and tech industries. The containers will be built on top of each other to conserve space and promote collaboration. With views of the canal, these projects hope to keep creative talent in London.
Well, tattoo artists may find that interesting. Speaking of tattoos, more Britons are choosing to get them to adorn their bodies. London has hosted the biggest tattoo festival in the UK, and Davide Colombini was there.
We are here at Alexander Palace in London for the Great British Tattoo Festival, the biggest tattoo festival in London. More than 350 artists from all over the world join this event, so come with us and have a look.
Tattooing's even more popular than it ever has been before. I think it's purely down to the fact that there are more tattooists out there, and I think members of the public that are looking to get tattooed are certainly faced with much more options. More styles of tattooing are coming up now, and there's definitely more talent out there. So I think it's only going to be something that's going to increase in popularity. They're as popular as ever, really.
The tattoo industry in the UK is worth hundreds of millions, and according to a recent survey, 1/5 of British adults are inked. During the last 3 years, tattoo parlours increased by more than 100%. The industry is growing, but some say a breaking point is about to be reached.
There's shops everywhere. You need to be good or you'll disappear, and that's the simplest answer. Like you do well if you do well.
The weirdest thing that you have ever drawn on somebody's body?
I've done all sorts. I did a little line drawing of a dog on someone's balls because he wanted to be the dog's bollocks.
I did a smiley, and the ass of a customer.
A pink piggy with wings on somebody's butt. That's probably the weirdest one.
Many people think that you need a strong motivation to be inked. However, with tattoos getting increasingly popular, most of the people don't take it too seriously.
I'd wanted for a very long time, and my wife, I think, got bored of me looking all the time at pictures. She goes, "Why don't you just put your money where your mouth is and get something done?" Fair enough. So
you only live once. You only live once, man. Live it. Why not? Why not? That's it. When someone asks why, I say why not. So there.
This is Davide Colombini reporting from London.
It's a perfect time for artists to be creative. So how's the weather these coming days going to look like? Here's Jean-Maria Volpicelli with the weather.
Hi everybody, it's very hot almost everywhere. We are quite lucky to be in London where we have a partly cloudy day, even if the temperature won't go under 15 degrees and may very well reach 23 degrees. Much more sweltering situation in sunny Rome, where we expect a maximum of 34 degrees, even if in the afternoon some showers may bring a modicum of relief. Let's fly to China, to an extremely hot Beijing. The capital is going to be very sunny for all the week long, and we expect no wind and a maximum of 31 degrees. Moscow is also quite warm and sunny in these days, and to compound the suffocating situation, it's also pretty humid. Gloomier, but probably more tolerable, is New York's weather today. Cloudy, fresh, and maybe rainy in the afternoon. Finally, let's go to Brazil, now under the limelight for the World Cup and also under a partly clouded sun. The temperature in Rio de Janeiro may reach a maximum of 26 degrees and a minimum of 19 degrees today. Good luck to all those who are sweating on the football fields. So that's all for the weather. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Gian Maria. Now let's call it a day and go to the park. That was City News International. I'm Bernie de Boosman.
And I'm Roseanne Rubeck. Thank you for watching.